Hi guys, it's me, I'm back. Welcome to a video where I am going to get triggered for the second time this week. I have recently finished reading Ben Shapiro's book, well, one of Ben Shapiro's books. The shortest one, actually, because a 30-page ebook was already enough for me to want to yeet myself off of planet Earth. So, we're going to be talking about it today. Now, you might have read the title and before even clicking this video, being like, why would you do this to yourself? That is a very good question, actually. My flatmate has suggested that I have a masochistic streak, which she's not totally wrong, actually. Today, we're going to be talking about Ben Shapiro's book, How to Debate Leftists and Destroy Them, 11 Rules for Winning an Argument. Even the title is shit. So there are a lot of reasons actually why I chose to pick this up. The first one is because I actually used to fall for a lot of the shit that Ben Shapiro peddled. Honestly, I did. For those of you who followed me back in the golden era of 2016, 2017, back when tack helicopter jokes were funny, I fell for a lot of the kind of right-wing rhetoric, and I believed myself to be right-wing. Spoiler alert, I didn't know shit about politics. And another reason why I chose to pick up this one in particular was because I actually love debating. I find debating very enjoyable. So because Ben Shapiro is someone viewed as a debating king who destroys everyone, I thought he might actually give some good debating advice. He doesn't. It's all about destroying the left and owning the left and, you know, just destroying the filthy commies, which, like, dude, fuck off. Just the title, man. Just the title is this fucking book. How to Destroy the Left. Like, specifically, the left. It's so stupidly divisive. Within the first line of the book, page fucking 1, we see all that matters is victory. That is a message that seems to have been lost among conservatives. What? No. I disagree. I would argue that victory is not all that matters. It's literally so much easier to own someone and destroy them without like trying to convince them or anything, because all you need to do is make them uncomfortable, make them feel like they can't get a word in edgeways. Having a real debate where you try to convince someone of your views while being respectful and listening to them is a lot harder, demands a lot more research, a lot more kind of insight and understanding of the other person. It's so much more difficult and it's so much more productive. So in the end, in my opinion, it's worth it. What matters is sharing ideas and hopefully making your way towards some sort of common ground, not destroying your opponent, because that accomplishes nothing at all. The other person will walk away from this debate with no changed opinions, hating you probably because you embarrass them publicly, and even more like kind of grounded on their own beliefs of like, oh, how can I destroy him back next time? Useless and a waste of time. So then he starts to cry about how like conservatives are discriminated against. He talks about the 2012 election, which I had to do a little bit of research on because I'm 21 now. I'll let you do the math on how old I was when the 2012 election was going on. I wasn't very politically involved, so I did have to do a bit of research. But basically, this is an entire introduction of Ben Shapiro basically crying over the fact that like conservatives like are disliked by society, which like that might be a reason, just saying. But he talks about Mitt Romney and Obama, criticizes the fuck out of Obama, by the way, which like, you know what? Fair. Fuck Obama for a lot of the shit that he did. But he also did some good shit. Basically, he makes one point, which is good. The average American isn't very invested in politics. True, can't argue with that. But he also says, page 3, Barack Obama and his surrogates said about Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney is the worst guy since Mussolini. This one is making me mad. Do you know why? Because it made me waste a whole lot of time. More than I wanted to waste. The Obama campaign slogan was Romney, rich, sexist, racist jackass. First of all, I'm actually pretty sure that the Obama campaign slogan was hope, but again, my memory might be a bit faulty. And Romney, the worst guy since Mussolini? Right, okay, now, Anyone with a basic understanding of history knows that that's not the case, and I am pretty sure that Obama never said that. Because again, I love wasting my time. I mean, I read this book. Hello. Basically, I spent like a good hour and a half on Romney's Wikipedia page and Mussolini's Wikipedia page. I know, like groundbreaking research. Reading it all up and then trying to be like, where are these similarities that people are finding between the two? And then the part of my brain that hadn't fallen asleep in grade 5 history class remembered, wait. Let's see. Mussolini. All of his life, Benito Mussolini was a collectivist. Until he was 31 years of age, he was a Marxist revolutionary socialist, a very Romney, and then became a nationalist. At the beginning of World War I, the socialists yeeted him out of there, but there is no evidence that he ever gave up his adherence to socialism. So then what the fuck are you on about, Ben? So when I saw this, I was like, right, okay, so it wasn't just me going crazy. He wasn't actually what we'd view as like a conservative, right? And so I Googled something I could have done in the first place, right? Google, wonderful tool, highly recommend. Mussolini and Romney. And guess what I found when I Googled Romney Mussolini? Fucking nothing, actually. Mr. Facts Over Feelings Shapiro over here has kind of been bullshitting us, and we're on page 3. Oh, and then one of my favorite, like, now we get into like the actual Shapiro talking points, right? Page 4. No wonder the left seeks to avoid political debate at all costs. Why bother? Members of the left are not interested in having a debate about policy. They are not interested in debating what is right or wrong for the country. They are interested in debating you personally. They are interested in castigating you guys, as a nasty human being because you happen to disagree. This is what makes leftists an unearned sense of moral superiority over you. Jesus Christ. I haven't had this much shit to unpack since I was subscribed to the subscription box. So, first of all, actually, in politics, Ben, left wing is a position that supports social equality and egalitarianism. That's what I believe, personally. It's not an unearned sense of moral superiority, as you very charmingly put it. And for the policy thing, I half agree. I tend to personally look at policy first, yes, but it's also important to look at the individual, in my opinion. You can't have one without the other. Whether you like it or not, politics has a great deal to do with emotion. You decide based on your personal set of values as an individual, okay, who you believe to be an adequate leader for your country, so someone who reflects your values and your beliefs. When someone challenges that, they are not only arguing against policies, they are attacking your moral judgment, and they're attacking your views, your values, what you believe in, and that will trigger a certain sense of an emotional reaction within you. It is normal. Are you kidding, Ben? Politics has so much to do with emotion. That's why you whine about being called a racist every other page, because you are offended that people are calling your choice of president a racist. And because it's your choice of president, it follows that you maybe are not a racist, but might be engaging in racist behavior. So that's why Ben gets so butthurt, and then he has the gall to say, oh yeah, policies only, like facts don't care about your feelings. Dude, are you kidding? So when someone challenges your ideas, your political ideas, they are questioning your personal beliefs, okay? Are we following so far? If you believe, for example, that there should be a border wall, people will be more inclined to see you as someone who doesn't want migrants entering your country, and thus may be slightly xenophobic or have xenophobic tendencies, rather than, such a kind, welcoming guy. Now, I'm not saying that is necessarily a good type of reasoning to have, but it's logical. It makes sense. That is why the individual can be important. Are we following so far? So no, it's not about ignoring policy. It's not about an unearned sense of moral superiority. It's about the fact that politics is an emotional topic. Full stop. Right, this one actually made me giggle a bit. College students' sense of moral righteousness doesn't come from achievement. It comes from believing that you are a bad person. You are a racist and sexist. They are not. That makes them good even though they don't give to charity or have never met a black person. I am not making this up, you guys. It's right there. Again, a lot to unpack here. First of all, I wonder why the students drowning in debt aren't giving to charity. My god, what selfish bitches, really. Also, have never met a black person. Dude, where do you live? This reminds me of the whole, like, you know, the gun girl Kaitlin Bennett clip of her being like, we don't live in a racist society. I see black people every day.
No, we don't live in a society. I see different colors of people all around me every day.
My god, we really come to this, haven't we? Just because you have the empathy of a brick, it doesn't mean all of us are the same, Ben. You know what? Being sensitive towards other people's suffering, other people's hardship is a fucking pain in the ass. It would be so much easier to not give a fuck. It would be so much easier to see videos of police brutality and not give a fuck. To see single mothers struggling, working 4 jobs just to make ends meet and not give a fuck. But that's not the point. The point is, people with empathy look at George Floyd, look at Breonna Taylor, and they're like, wow, that's fucked, I hate this, and I want to cry. And when you see people not give a fuck, of course it's going to make you angry. Of course you're going to be triggered. Of course you're going to want to do something about it. And when you see someone not wanting to do anything about it, yes, you might be called racist. You might be called insensitive. I don't think Ben is racist. I honestly don't. I think he's just stupid. And I think he lacks empathy. This unearned sense of moral superiority. This doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense because it's not unearned. We as individuals who care try, okay? We want to make things better for the people who have more difficulties than us. Do you get it? It's a lot more annoying to care about people going through shit than it is to go through life thinking that you want to pay less taxes. Like, it's such bullshit. Holy fuck. Page 5, calling you a racist and a sexist, a bigot and a homophobe gives them a sense of satisfaction with their status in the universe. Oh my god, stop. This is a bully tactic. When someone calls you a racist, sexist, bigot, homophobe because you happen to disagree with them about tax policy or same-sex marriage or abortion, that's bullying. My god. Right, okay. No, Ben, this is not a bully tactic. I cannot believe that this is the facts don't care about your feelings guy. Is this a parody? Unfortunately, it says Ben Shapiro on the cover, so literally I cannot believe how fucking butthurt this guy is. Literally just keep this for your secret diary, man. No one wants to hear that bullshit. The fact that he brings up same-sex marriage and he's like, oh, but I shouldn't be called a homophobe because I don't want gay people to be married. Because let's say that hypothetically you have 2 gay men who want to be married. No, fuck off, Ben. Fuck off. If you believe that gay people should not have the right to get married, why? Like, that is not hurting anyone. And so if you believe that a group of people with a different sexual orientation should not have the same right to get married, for instance, as a straight couple, then yes, that does make you slightly homophobic, Ben. If you believe that a woman should not have the right, the option to have an abortion, as a male, that is slightly questionable. And I am saying this as someone who is pro-life. I am pro-life in theory. I believe that abortions should be minimized, but I think they should be available. I think they should be available to have safely. I think they should be available for women who have been raped, who risk health consequences, whose children risk health consequences. I understand. Even though I think it's fucking terrible, I think it's better for it to be legal and safe for women than them having to get like fucking hacked at by some sort of like shady ass doctor that is operating illegally, because that compromises the safety of women. So yes, that can be interpreted as misogyny. It's not, oh, unfounded accusations of intolerance. No, it isn't. It is certain aspects of your behavior that lead us to believe that you hold certain opinions that we do not agree with. And it's not just that, it's certain opinions that can lead to harming a certain group of people. So let's say gay people not being able to be married, if they have disadvantages because of that, purely because of their sexual orientation, then yes, that is a problem related to homophobia. So Ben, when you say that when someone labels you a bad human being because they disagree with you, they are bullying you, no. They are attacking your character without justification. We've been over this. There's plenty of justifications. That's nasty. In fact, it makes them nasty. Can you see the hypocrisy? I can smell it, actually. It stinks. So then that's something that made me giggle a bit. He talks about the institutional takeover, and apparently the leftist bullies, I'm not kidding, that's really how he referred to the leftists as, have taken over the majority of institutions in the United States, and how the left is dominating universities and education. Am I the only one who finds this funny? Oh, damn it. All these leftists brainwashing the educated people of our nation. And then he goes on to say that if you're not a communist in college, you get graded poorly, and how he had to pretend to be a leftist filthy commie to get good grades. I'm not joking, read the book. And that's where I found the worst part, which is the message of the book, right? We see the goal of the debate is not to win over the leftists, or to convince him or her, or to be friends with him or her. That person already disagrees with you, and they're not going to be convinced by your words of wisdom and your sparkling rhetorical flourishes. The goal will be to destroy the leftist in as public way as is humanly possible. If that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about the way Ben Shapiro operates and the way he thinks as a person, as an individual, yes, Ben, as an individual, I don't know what will. Not to convince them, not to be friends with them, because you're not going to convince them anyway. You need to humiliate them publicly. What the fuck do you mean? I have had so many constructive debates with people that I disagreed with people who I thought were spewing bullshit, but because they were respectful, because they listened to what I had to say, they were patient with me, they explained shit to me, I walked away from these conversations and these debates and did my own research and actually did change my mind. Just because you are too far deep, Ben, to actually change your mind doesn't mean we're all that way, doesn't mean we're all that narrow-minded. Ben Shapiro really seems to think that people who change their mind are flaky and they don't know what to think. No, changing your opinion and changing your mind is so important. It's so important. Just imagine holding the same views your entire life. That would be literally the most embarrassing shit ever. Right, so rule number 1, walk towards the fire. Okay, sure. Attack. If that's how you want to do the whole debating thing, okay, sure, go for it. Okay, I'm not going to stop you. That's not inherently harmful. But I do want to bring up, guys, page 12. Mitt Romney learned this the hard way. Mitt Romney is one of the most polite people to ever run for president. That didn't stop Mitt Romney from being excoriated as the world's most worst human being. Most worst human being. Am I the only one who sees a problem in the structure of this sentence? The intellectual powerhouse of the right, everyone. Again, there we go with the whole bullshit of it being war and you have to strike and you have to destroy them. The left knows that this is war and they know you are the enemy. You will be castigated. I almost read that as castrated. Anyway, you will get punched. That's the way it will go, because that's how the left wins. You have to take the punch. You have to brush it off. You have to be willing to take the punch. Ben, you are not an MMA fighter. Calm the fuck down. You are arguing against people who obviously have no chance of winning because you are manipulating the situation. It's not an honest way of winning debates at all. Then he tells you to do your research, which is a pretty good advice, actually. Didn't expect that one, so good job for giving us one piece of solid advice, Ben Shapiro. Then he tells us to frame the opponent, characterizing the opposition. Don't you think that Ben Shapiro has so much integrity? Wow, we love to see it. And then he goes, there is no way to convince someone that you don't hate him or her. You can convince, however, that your opposition is a liar and a hater. How the fuck did he think it was a good idea to publish this? Has anyone read this? Am I the only one? I wouldn't be surprised, but am I the only one? Because even if I was still in a phase of my life where I supported Ben Shapiro, I would read this and be like, oh, you know what, that's kind of fucked up. But that's just who he is. That literally reflects his values. How does he think it's okay to do that? So anyway, afterwards he starts talking about more rules of debating, right? And he uses the Piers Morgan debate as an example, which, first of all, if you think that Ben Shapiro owned Piers Morgan in that debate, like, have you watched it? Both look like children in that debate. But yeah, it was a shit show. It was a shit show of a debate. And then, like, he bangs on and on and on about how he won the debate, how he owned Piers Morgan. And I'm just like, you're both twats. He calls, like, Piers Morgan a loudmouth and a bully when Piers responds saying, Shapiro, my man, you're being absurd. He's like, bullying. And I'm just like, that's not bullying. Saying I find your point of view absurd is not bullying. It just means I don't get it. Please elaborate, because right now you seem a little bit crazy to me. Page 22. Apparently the left is anti-intellectual. Dude, you are literally the one who complained about the left taking over the educational institutions. What the fuck do you mean? Then page 24, he carries on to give you more advice, saying frame the debate, which, yeah, sure. Make sure the debate is pointless and that you win without convincing anyone and just, like, embarrassing them for no fucking reason. And also he brings up the idea of global warming. This is a more useful question, and it also avoids the left's preferred line of argument on global warming, which is a variation on their preferred line on gun control. Global warming is man-made, don't you agree? Blah blah blah. That's because it's stupid and hateful. Dude, shut up. Shut up. I find it wholly despicable that Ben Shapiro would use such an important issue, fucking climate change, to push his so-called victory in a debate. Obviously, the debate shouldn't be global warming is man-made, and obviously the debate shouldn't be is climate change reversible. That's not the fucking point. My god, I feel stupid even having to announce this. The point is, what can we do to limit even more damage? There are so many points that can be brought up. To what extent we should cut out fossil fuels? How much do we want to invest in renewable energy? Should we cut our meat production? These are all things that are interesting to talk about. At the end of it, you'll have come to a productive solution. Or even if you don't have a solution, you'll have at least understood the other person's point of view. Here, what he is suggesting is steering the debate in a different direction, a direction that makes zero sense, that is a waste of time, just so he can own the left. It's so stupid. Ben Shapiro, why do you debate? Why do you even debate? Like, he says, as a general matter, the left's favourite 3 lines of attack are 1, you're stupid, 2, you're mean, 3, you're corrupt. All true when it comes to you, Ben. All of it is true. Rule number 5, this one. Spot inconsistencies in the left's arguments. I mean, sure, in a debate, spotting inconsistencies is always useful, but right and inconsistencies are not mutually exclusive. You can also have inconsistent arguments if you're not on the left, Ben. Oh my god, yes, rule number 6, page 26. Force leftists to answer questions. How in the world is this a serious book? Let's debate. Oh, have you thought about answering questions? If you force a leftist to answer whether he or she would prefer to give up a mum or a dad in the name of political correctness, how in the world would that come up in a debate, Ben? I'm assuming he's talking about same-sex marriage, but like, why? But don't worry, there's more. Page 27, rule number 7. Don't get distracted. That's the real one right there. Don't get fucking distracted. Says the guy who's trying to ask you which parent you'd rather yeet off the family tree when it comes to a discussion about gay marriage. What do you mean? Got page 28. Actually good advice. You don't have to defend people on your side. Thank you. Yes, that is true. I consider myself to be on the left, and I do not think I need to defend the people on the left that I do not like. So yes, I agree with that. Good job on the good advice, Ben. Page 29. If you don't know something, admit it. We're on a fucking roll here with the good advice. Rule number 10, let the other side have meaningless victories. Oh, yeah, more proof that when Shapiro debates, it's not about discourse, it's about destroying the left. Thanks for that. Why is it always like destroying the left? It's not all about left and right. There's so much nuance. He always refers to his opponents as the left. The left is so broad. Rule number 11, finally, body language matters. I agree. It is usually preferable to not look like you're chronically constipated. Ben, you might want to work on that one a bit more. But I think I'm going to leave it at that because that is the end of the 11 rules to destroy leftists. I'm sweating. I'm so angry. He gets off of the idea of humiliating someone. Like, how fucking twisted is that? But anyway, that'll be all for today, guys. Let me know if you enjoyed the video or if you think that I'm a triggered snowflake, and I shall see you guys soon. Bye!